Welcome back to the Middle Eight Football Podcast, the fastest 8 minutes in sports. I'm your host, Joe Burks. Let's get into Week 7 of the 2025 NFL season, breaking down every single game. But before that, let's go through our MVP ladder, the top 6 candidates for the NFL MVP award after 7 weeks, starting off with Baker Mayfield, of course. He plays tonight, plays against the Detroit Lions. I'm expecting a strong performance from him. Detroit has a pretty depleted defensive backfield, their secondary. Patrick Mahomes shoots all the way up to second after an amazing performance against the Raiders. Dak Prescott sits at third. He's been fantastic every single week. Drake May, kind of the same story. He's been unbelievably efficient, especially. Jonathan Taylor is our next spot, just without a doubt the best running back in football right now. Maybe besides Christian McCaffrey, we can make that argument. Matt Stafford sits in number 6 with a 5-touchdown performance against the Jacksonville Jaguars in London. Then we have our honorable mentions, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, and Christian McCaffrey. Those are the 3 guys just off the list that I think could sneak back onto the list within a couple weeks. Going into our games, we have the Rams versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, like I just said, Stafford threw 5 touchdowns, and 3 of those went to Devontae Adams in a 35-7 blowout victory. This Rams team looked unbelievable, steamrolling a solid Jags unit. Without Puka Nacua, they did this offensively without Puka Nacua, their star wide receiver. They are easily among the top NFC contenders. I'd say they're a top 3 or 4 team in the NFC easily. On the Jaguars side of things, Trevor Lawrence was solid, and Travis Hunter gets his first NFL touchdown. Very cool moment there. Minnesota versus Philadelphia. Carson Wentz falls flat in his revenge game against Philadelphia. Obviously, he was an MVP candidate there for a year or two. Threw his 2 interceptions to his former team as the Vikings fall to 3-3. They're in need of an offensive spark here, and J.J. McCarthy, their second year, but really it's his rookie year quarterback. He misses real rookie year with a knee injury, but they need J.J. McCarthy, their young quarterback, to come back to give a spark to this team. Hopefully he could make his return next week from the ankle injury. The Eagles get back on track after dropping 2 in a row. A lot of people are doubting their offense. The rushing attack was still pretty bad, only 2.0 yards per carry as a team, but Hurts did throw for 326 yards and 3 touchdowns, getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Devonta Smith had 183 yards and a touchdown. A.J. Brown had 121 yards and 2 touchdowns. Patriots versus Titans. Mike Vrabel, the head coach for the Patriots, wins a revenge game against his former team, and Drake May is once again brilliant at quarterback for the Patriots, a 91.3 completion percentage. That's unbelievable efficiency. 222 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. One other note for the Patriots, I'm starting to think that Ramondre Stevenson is the plan at running back for this season. At least that's the way it's looking. They just have not been giving Trayvon Henderson the touches, their second-round rookie running back, that we thought he would be getting. Miami versus Cleveland, not a game I expected to bring up early in the show, but just to highlight that I think head coach Mike McDaniel, GM Chris Grier, and quarterback Tua Tagovailoa should not be with this team next year. They're now 1-6, no chance they make the playoffs. And I think it's time for a full rebuild in Miami. As far as the Browns go, a blowout win for them. Quinshon Judkins, the rookie running back out of Ohio State, rumbles for 3 touchdowns. He has looked great and a really strong piece of this young core. Just insane to me how a 1-5 team blows out another 1-5 team. Just goes to show this Dolphins team needs a reset. Colts versus Chargers. Colts come out with a fantastic win and move to 6-1 on the year. And the Colts continue as the number 1 seed in the AFC. This offense in Indianapolis looks unstoppable. Daniel Jones at quarterback, 288 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor, 132 total yards, 3 touchdowns. As far as the Chargers go, I wouldn't put this loss on Justin Herbert. He made some great plays. And this team is still missing their 2 starting tackles, which makes a huge difference in pass protection. You saw the Colts get a ton of pressure on Herbert. And they also had another tackle injured during the game. They had some interior offensive linemen going in and out of the game with injuries. Just a lot of inconsistency and injury along that offensive front there. They also have no rushing attack without rookie running back Amarian Hampton. He's still out with that ankle injury. But nonetheless, I wouldn't put all the blame on Herbert for this loss. Colts defense plays really well, forced 2 interceptions from Herbert. Denver versus the New York Giants. Holy crap, what a game. Denver was down 19-0 entering the 4th quarter and scored 33 points in the 4th quarter to win 32-33 with a last-second field goal. This is made possible because of a Giants missed extra point at the end of the game. Made it a 2-point lead for them, and then Denver was able to drive down and kick the game winner. Bo Nix leads another miraculous comeback. We saw this happen against Philadelphia early in the season. Jackson Dart, rookie quarterback for the Giants, looked terrific in my opinion despite the loss. He made some incredible throws and accounted for 4 total touchdowns. Did throw that pick at the end, which kind of hurt them. Green Bay versus Arizona. Jacoby Brissett plays another good game in the stead of quarterback Kyler Murray for Arizona. My question is Kyler Murray going to be the starter in 2026? I'm starting to feel less and less certain about that answer. The Cardinals have now lost 5 in a row. Of course, Murray was inactive for 2 of those games, but I think the Cardinals front office needs to look themselves in the mirror and ask if Kyler Murray is really the quarterback that's going to lead them to a Super Bowl championship. I'm not sure that he is. He's a very good quarterback with a bright future, but I think it's time to consider all options here. The Cardinals now head into their bye week, so we'll see where that leads. The Packers' offense looked pretty ineffective until the fourth quarter, where they were able to get a couple touchdowns and end up winning the game, pulling ahead at the last second. Micah Parsons was unreal off the edge, 3 sacks, and was dominating this Cardinals offensive line. Green Bay totals 6 sacks on defense. Still not totally convinced that Green Bay is a contender, but we will see. Dallas versus Washington. Dallas able to blow out an injured Washington team 44-22. Their offense for the Cowboys is just elite. Put up 41 points in the first 3 quarters. But this defense for Dallas is still pretty bad. Allowed 22 points to an injured offense that was missing their top 2 receivers in McLaurin and Deebo Samuel. Jaden Daniels also exited the game in the third quarter with a hamstring injury after going down hard on a sack. He didn't end up returning, but it looks like it's not going to be a significant injury. He may end up playing next week. We'll see. This game didn't prove anything to me, really. The Cowboys were able to dominate. I wouldn't say they dominated just because the Washington Commanders had so many injuries, but I still didn't see anything insane that make me shift Dallas up a tier in terms of playoff contenders. We knew that their offense is absolutely unbelievable, but I want to see some consistency from their defense heading forward. San Francisco versus Atlanta, our Sunday night game. Mac Jones just keeps on winning, and San Francisco was 5-2 despite the just insane amount of injuries on their roster. Christian McCaffrey, superstar running back, puts up 129 rushing yards and 72 receiving yards while leading the team in both of those categories and scoring 2 touchdowns. On the Atlanta side of things, not a bad game from Penix, but the offense just was unable to put up points against a strong Niners defense. And overall, this was just a good defensive battle. Last couple games here, Carolina beats the New York Jets. Bryce Young did exit the game midway through with an ankle sprain. He will likely miss next week, meaning Andy Dalton is in line to start. Rico Dowdle had 17 carries, Chuba Hubbard had 14. This is looking like a true committee going forward. Nonetheless, Carolina is above 500 at 4-3 now. Very impressive from them. The Jets are just plain terrible. They couldn't beat Carolina even without Bryce Young. Justin Fields got benched, I believe, after halftime. He was completely ineffective once again as a passer. Hoping they draft a quarterback, Fernando Mendoza is the guy to draft if they do. But I'm starting to wonder where this team's going to find a win on their schedule. Chicago versus New Orleans. Saints. Running back Kendre Miller unfortunately tears his ACL out for the season. He was emerging as a nice playmaker for this backfield. The Saints give away 4 turnovers that end up costing them the game. The Bears now win their 4th in a row. They're one of the hottest teams in football, and they really relied on their rushing attack in this game, which is something we haven't seen. I was impressed by that. Ben Johnson's done a great job so far. Then finally, Kansas City versus Las Vegas. Not much to say. The Chiefs beat down on one of the worst teams in football. Vegas didn't even total 100 yards of offense across the entire game. That's unreal. Rashee Rice returned from his 6-game suspension and put up 2 touchdowns in his first game back. Patrick Mahomes at quarterback just looked elite the entire game, like the Mahomes we're used to, and this Chiefs offense is rolling. They are once again one of the best teams in football. There's no debate about it. That 31-0 victory was dominant. And then as far as our games for Monday night tonight, I'm picking Detroit over Tampa Bay. Very, very close game. I think it's going to be 2 amazing teams with great offenses. 38-35 is my predicted score, with Detroit winning. And then I'm picking Seattle over Houston. I don't think it's going to be close. 28-14 is the score there. I don't think Houston's offense is going to be able to hang with Seattle's defense. I think this is going to be the hardest matchup Houston has had in a couple weeks. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms. That's all I got for you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.